Good day, ladies and gentlemen, either or neither, and welcome to what hopefully will be a multi-part video series about my general No Man's Sky experience thus far. I am Zaffageek, and you can find me anywhere at or slash Zaffageek, and most days live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Special thanks goes out to my Patreon members, Great Susie, JC Hunter, Noctis Silence, Lazy8244, Mogwai, Danish Thinker, Eric Schatten, Jumpy Humpy Spider, Matt Durana, Tim Beek, and Mika. And without any further ado, let's jump into the video. I played a total of about 25 hours since launch. Starting on the day of release, my first stream was about 3 hours long, but, like everyone else, it was a disappointing experience to say the least. But something told me to hold on to the game. Since that initial stream, I attempted to stream the game when some of its updates launched, but still, something was missing, and at the time, I did not know what it was. Fast forward to the end of April 2024, and with encouragement from Zaffageek of the SA Geeks, I decided to try it one more time. I remember the first night after I ended a stream, I decided to give No Man's Sky at least 4 hours of my time. 10 hours later, was it safe to say the game definitely got its hooks into me, and at the very least, I was damn impressed. And finally, I knew what was the one thing that bothered me with my previous attempts at getting into the game: the onboarding process. In my previous attempts, it felt like the game was sluggish to start off with. Either I was unlucky with the resources on the planets, or our lords and saviors at Hello Games made the onboarding process a lot quicker. I remember back then getting my first ship was basically the seemingly almost unattainable goal because I would spend about 3 hours getting it to work previously. Now I was up and running in my first ship and into space and the first space station within about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. Speaking of space stations, the space stations I got on this new playthrough was compact and navigation was easy enough to find my way around. On my first attempts at the game, the stations felt complicated and a mess just to find anything. Being thrust onto a planet and being told, hey, scan some creatures, plants and rocks, then following the rest of the tutorial to figure out what you need, is very seamless and more engaging. Once I got my first ship, the whole planet seems more accessible and even quicker so, with lots of things to grab your attention, from unknown buildings to weird alien egg-like icons and starry balls icons. You would soon find yourself straying from the tutorial to just go and explore. Shortly after finding my first space station, I got introduced to the Anomaly, which is essentially your main go-to hub for most, if not all things No Man's Sky. I am 80 hours in and still have not experienced everything on the Anomaly. A lot of the new player experience feels accidental. What do I mean by this? As an example, getting your first freighter, a roaming base of operations of sorts, feels like it was by accident. Also, before I got my freighter, this was the first time I got into ship combat. Something a lot of space games makes overly complicated. I personally do not like dogfighting mechanics in these games, but in No Man's Sky, I was flying between planets and ran into a freighter under attack, and then the game clearly states, listen, once you have locked onto the target, just hold down the S key and your ship will automatically follow and lead the target. So all that remains for you to do is just press the fire buttons. After saving said freighter, the captain of the freighter asked that I come on board so that they could thank me and give me my reward. There was one of two options I could choose, the first one being the ship, and the second one cash. So I decided to take the ship, and immediately through the ship tutorial it was made clear that this will be my mobile base of operations. With buildable rooms that'll help you on your journey through space, to sending your fleet on expeditions and upgrading your frigate. Again, I know there's a lot more to the frigate that I haven't found out yet. Another accidental quest is finding your first settlement, and that leads to another accidental feeling quest that gets you your first mech. This is where I find myself at the moment of writing the script. 80 odd hours in, and all of the previously mentioned things still feels like the onboarding process. I'm pretty sure I've missed out on a lot of things, but I'm also sure that I will get to those missed opportunities in due time. The biggest thing about the game is the simple fact that the universe feels alive. From randomly designed creatures roaming about on the planets, to ships jumping in to the planet, and ships seemingly just doing trade routes. I remember the first time I saw those ships jumping in, I immediately thought to myself, damn, these are other players. But no, they were NPC ships, and they even have a mechanic tied to these ships. With some of them, you can outright go to a recently landed ship and just buy them to add to your fleet. The same happens to some of the ships that warps in close to your location in space. And with all of these things being said and happening at the same time, one would surely think that there's a lot of loading screens, like Starfield. Aside from when you first load up your game, the game is almost seamless. The slight stutter you feel when you leave a planet, that's the game loading your immediate space vicinity. When you activate your hyperdrive in space, that's loading your destination. There's no loading screens, more like transition screens. While you're in hyperdrive or using a teleporter or even warping between systems, there's always gameplay on your screen. No image of game tips that breaks your immersion pops up. What our lords and saviors at Hello Games did to accomplish this is nothing short of miraculous. Well, just tiny bugs related to lag in the game. For example, another player's mech running around in the air while we were fighting off sentinels. Sometimes the refining bugs out on the freighter, but in that case I've eventually gotten the refined materials. Swimming animations in third-person mode could be better, but that's like a really tiny part of it. The bigger issue than the swimming animation is that there's no search function when you're viewing your inventory. So when I'm looking at very similar looking molecules, I've found myself getting frustrated very, very quickly. Get that search function going and the game is almost perfect. As you are probably aware by now, this game impresses me a lot. And it keeps on impressing me as I find something new every time I load up the game. To jump on the bandwagon a bit here, all the DLCs are free. All of them. You buy the game and you get a crap ton of DLCs. In fact, I would rather call them expansion packs because they add so much to the game. The phrase downloadable content would be a disservice of what these updates add to the game. Go buy the game now, and if it's on sale, wait till the sale is over and buy it at full price, because Hello Games deserves our money. Every single damn penny. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Zaffageek. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, you should have a good one.